Hey guys, it's Mr. G, your favorite health teacher. I'm here to teach you today how to run a scoreboard. So you open up the box like this, you put the box on top of here, then we're gonna have a wire. This wire gets kind of tangled up sometimes, but you wanna untangle it and put it around the corner of the table so the scoreboard does not fall off the table. Then you stretch out the wire like this. Try to get all the knots out the best that you can. And then you walk back here. Come on back here. And this is where you plug it in. If you can see here, there's a 3-pronged outlet and there's 3-pronged outlet on the wall. You want to line it up so it fits. Spin it to the right side and you're good to go. If you look at the scoreboard up there, it is now lit up. Then you come back over to your table. If you come on this side for me and take a look at the scoreboard again, this is the last time someone used a scoreboard. Now I'm going to show you how to clear the scoreboard. We want to look for the button that says reset, home, reset, visitor, reset, home foul, reset, visitor foul, reset, home bonus, reset, ball possession. If you now look at the scoreboard, everything has been cleared except the time. I will now reset, clock, and now it is at 0.0. The scoreboard is a very important function of the basketball game. Let's start off with the left side. This black switch turns the clock on and off. Let's pretend we're at 6 minutes for a quarter, since that's what we use in middle school. We press 6, 0, 0, clock set. If you see on the scoreboard, we're now at 6 minutes. And simply, when the game starts, we click the button on. And you see how it's clicking down. Looking back at the scoreboard again, we want to make sure that it says clock up or down. We want the red light to be on for down at all times. It should never be on up. If the clock set is on up, if you notice, I turn the black switch off and I click it back down. When the switch is on, I cannot click it to the other spot. It will make a beeping sound like that. So if it does go on up accidentally and it's on, you have to click off, click down, and back on again. Okay, and off. Moving on to the left side. I went over clock set. I'll repeat that again. If I want to reset the time, I hit reset, clock set. Let's say I want 8 minutes this time. 8, 0, 0, clock set. Let's say we're at practice and the coach says, give me 1 minute and 30 seconds. I don't necessarily have to hit reset clock. I could just type in 1, 3, 0, clock set, and it comes up. So we know how to set the clock. We know how to make the clock go down. It should never be up. Here's a button called auto horn. When we're in the game of basketball and there's a substitute that comes over to the table and the coach wants to put him in, we usually put that substitute in after the first free throw. I simply hit this horn. Okay? Now the auto horn is on. And I can hit this bottom button that says main horn sub. We get a loud buzzing sound, letting the whole crowd know that a substitute may enter. So we always want to have clock down, auto horn on, because when the time is up on the clock, the whole crowd needs to know that time has exhausted. Let's just pretend that there is 10 seconds left. I'll hit clock set, as you see. Okay, I come back down here. I'm gonna click the clock on. Let's watch the time and see if the auto horn goes off in about 5 seconds. It's gonna be very loud. At that point, I click off. I go look at the scoreboard. It has now reset to 8 minutes. I don't want 8 minutes because each quarter is 6 minutes. 6:00, clock set. So that's the numbers here. Let's look at the button that says period. Okay, if you look right up there right now, it says period 2. In the game of basketball at the middle school level, we play 5 periods. So I simply keep clicking. If you see, it's only going 1, 2, 3, 4. Now here's a trick. I could click 5, period, and the 5th period shows up on the clock. It will not do it by just hitting the button. So we play something called the 5th quarter in middle school basketball, where that game does not count towards the regular standings. It's a 6-minute time period for the 5th quarter, and we do put up the score, but there's no free throws that are shot. Let's say Eatontown scores a 3-pointer. Watch my finger. I click home. 1, 2, 3. Now Eatontown is winning 3-0, and I'm going to remember to put the clock on as well. Let's say that we're playing Oceanport and they score a 2-pointer. I click visitor. 1, 2. Eatontown scores another 2 points. Watch my finger. 1, 2. Oh, I accidentally hit another number. It's supposed to say 5 and not 6. I simply can hit reset home, 5 home. Okay, now most people will think that you have to hit reset home, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the unprofessional way to do it. It's always reset home, 5 home. Or let's just say it was 6, like we had before, and we don't want to hit reset. I can simply hit 5 home, and look what happens. It adds it. This is why we always have to hit reset home, 5 home. We can't just type in a number. It's going to add what it already has on there. Okay? So I went over period. There's a timeout button here. We don't need to use the timeout button in middle school. Okay? Let's look at what happens if I hit a timeout. They put 1 minute on the clock. Sometimes that's for a full timeout. Sometimes we don't want that. They want a 30-second timeout. It gets too tricky. So I'm resetting the timeout. I look back at the clock. I'm back at 4:52. Do not worry about the timeout button. The referees will control that. I see a button that says ball possession. When we have a jump ball to start the game, whatever team wins the possession, let's say Eatontown won the jump ball and we're going down the court. That means I'm gonna hit ball possession for the visitor. So the next time there's a jump ball, you see that little arrow by where it says visitor 2, they're gonna get the ball next time on a jump. And after they get it, they throw the ball in. I hit ball possession again. Now Eatontown's gonna get it next time. I see a little button down here that says .00. We never use that button either. We do not use every button on the scoreboard. That's why I'm making this video for you guys. This top button says player number, player foul. This is only meant for people that are very proficient with the scoreboard and have been doing it a long time. At the middle school level, we do not put the player's number and foul in. We don't have enough time, okay? So do not use these numbers. Home foul and visitor foul is very important. Let's say that Oceanport committed 1 foul. I click it once. If you look on the bottom right where it says fouls and points, they have 1 foul. We don't realize points in a basketball game except where it says top, Eatontown and visitor. This scoreboard could also be used for wrestling. That's why it says that. But we're using the part that says fouls, okay? So again, you press the fouls. Each time there's 1 foul committed. If we commit a foul or 2, we click it. If we mess up, we hit reset, foul, and then we just click them in individually, however many fouls it's supposed to be. Here it says visitor, player number, player foul. Again, we are not using those buttons. That's only meant in serious basketball like the NBA. We don't need to do that at middle school. I want to go over something called a bonus. It says home bonus, visitor bonus. You're going to notice, I'm going to click visitor foul again. We're currently at 4. Watch how it changes on the board when it gets to 7. 5, 6, 7. There's a little red bonus that pops up there. That means Eatontown gets to shoot a 1-and-1 free throw. When you get to 7 team fouls, the other team automatically will shoot free throws. Now watch on the board what happens when the team collects 10 team fouls. They get a double bonus. Now they get to shoot 2 free throws. I will review that a little bit later as well. That is the middle part of the box. This white box right here, this first row, the middle row, does not need to be used. The only button that is used inside this white box is reset. Everything else is not used. And obviously we will be using the home and the visitor button a lot as teams score. Okay? A couple things I want to remind everyone that uses the scoreboard. Please watch the game at all times. Do not be on your cell phone. Do not look behind you at people in the crowd. Your job is to look forward where you see this beautiful court. Okay? You're watching the game. You have to stay focused. If you ever have any questions, please ask me. I will be here for every home game. I know how to use the scoreboard very well. I'm happy to assist you with that. Let's review a couple things before I move forward on some technical rules. Again, how do you start the clock? Simply press the black button forward, and as you see, the time is ticking down. That will remain on until we hear a whistle. When the referee blows the whistle, we quickly hit the black button to stop the game. Anytime you hear a whistle, hit the black button off. When they throw the ball back in, the referee is going to go like this with his hands. Okay? When that happens and the ball is back on the court, the button goes back on. Okay. Let's reset the clock. I'm hitting reset home, reset visitor, reset home foul, reset visitor foul, reset ball possession, reset home bonus, reset period, reset clock. I now reset everything because I keep hitting the reset button plus what I need. Let's pretend we're starting a game, a brand new game. How many minutes am I going to put on the clock? 6. 6:00, clock set. As you see in the scoreboard, we are ready to begin the game. The first thing the teams do when they go out on the court is called a jump ball. Once the referee throws the ball up in the air, we're going to come back down to here and click the button on. And the game has now begun. As you see in the clock, we're at 5:53, 52, 51, 50, etc. Let's say a player commits a foul. I hear the whistle, I stop the clock. He says the foul is on number 10, Oceanport. I go over here, visitor foul. They now have 1 visitor foul. Let's say the ball is now going to get thrown in. The referee again is bringing his hands out to the side. They throw the ball in, I'm turning the clock back on. Eatontown gets the ball, they shoot a 3-pointer. I'm going down to the home button. 1, 2, 3. Eatontown is up now 3-0. And the clock continues to go because we have not heard any whistles at all. Oceanport gets the ball. They come down. Eatontown steals the ball. They dribble up. They score a layup. Now the score is 5-0 Eatontown. Oceanport coach doesn't like it. He calls a timeout. The referee blows the whistle. I come down to the scoreboard. I stop the clock. We're now 5 minutes and 11 seconds left in the first quarter. Eatontown is up 5-0. I'd like to review every time we should stop the clock. Everyone is going to get one of these papers when you work the game clock. I need you to study these papers. We're going to keep the paper right next to us on the table at all times so we have something to look back to. It says, when do you stop the clock? When the referee blows the whistle. When you see the ball goes out of bounds, stop the clock. When the referee calls for a jump ball, that means two players are grabbing for the ball at the same time. He'll blow the whistle, stop the clock. When a player commits a foul, we stop it. When a player steps out of bounds, when a coach calls a timeout, is all the times we stop the clock. Okay, let's say that they throw the ball back in, the clock is back on again. Okay, now Eatontown has committed a foul, they blow the whistle, we click home foul. Oceanport goes to the free throw line, they make the first one. All of a sudden the coaches want to make a substitute. There's people up at the table. One shot has been made, we come over to auto horn, watch your ears. We hit the buzzer once, and the player comes in. We do not hit the buzzer like this, or like this. It's a simple press down the button for 1 or 2 seconds. Player comes in. Okay, we don't press it too short, we don't press it too long. Somewhere in the middle. It says when to use the horn. It says when we have a substitute that enters the game, usually after the first free throw, when the ball's out of bounds. After a time is taken out, the referee wants the teams back on the court. As I said before, if you look back at this button, it says timeout. We're not pressing this button. The referee will have a timeout in his head, whether it's 30 seconds or a minute, or he'll look at that little clock over there that we have onto the wall. Okay? He may say, hey, hit the horn. At this point, you hit a double horn. That means the team should come out. If they don't listen again, double horn, he'll get the teams out there. Another time to use the horn, if the referee does not notice that the team has 7 or team fouls. The team fouls are really important. Let's go back to the scoreboard. Let's say Eatontown has 7 team fouls. That means Oceanport is in the bonus. We see the red B. That means they get to shoot a free throw called a 1-and-1. A 1-and-1 means if they make the free throw, they get another free throw opportunity. If they miss the free throw, watch my finger. Once they miss it, the clock goes back on immediately. We're watching for the ball to hit the rim and to come out. If they make 2 free throws, the clock never goes back on until the ball gets inbounded. We wait for the player to throw it in. Okay? When we're using the fouls, it says, if a player commits a foul, you must update that on the scoreboard. If you're not sure what player hit the foul, ask, home, away, what number. We need constant communication with the scoreboard and the scorebook person next to us. They have to communicate. If you're not sure, ask again. Let's say Eatontown eventually commits 10 team fouls. They're in the double bonus. I mentioned this before. That means no matter what, Oceanports get to shoot 2 free throws. Okay? Let's say they make the first one and they miss the second one. What are we supposed to do? We turn the clock back on so the time continues to go. Once that second free throw is missed, the clock continues. Okay, there's another foul. Oceanport's committed it this time. Now fouls are 10-2. Now in a real game situation, most likely it will not be like this, where the fouls are so offset, but we're just doing this as a quick example. Let's talk about free throws. This paper is double-sided. When a player is shooting free throws, the clock needs to be stopped. The clock should never be running when someone's shooting free throws. If a player is attempting 2 free throws after the first free throw, when the substitute enter, you may press the horn button. Remember we said that before. Do not let a substitute in until the first free throw has been committed. If there's no substitutes, we don't press the horn at all. On the second free throw attempt, as I said before, if they miss the free throw, start the clock right away. If they make both free throws, we do not start the clock until the ball is inbounded. This goes over the 1-on-1 shooting. that talks about the 7 team fouls, and then it talks about the 10 team fouls, which is the double bonus. I want to go over something else here. It says, when do you clear the team fouls off the scoreboard? Okay? At halftime, it says once the first and second quarters have been played, all the team fouls get reset from the scoreboard. So I simply go to reset, home foul, reset, visitor foul. At this point, we should be in period 3. And we have 6 minutes on the clock. And as you see, I also need to reset visitor bonus. Everything should be just like that. We never reset the score. The only thing we reset are fouls and make sure we're in the right period. When it's the third and fourth quarters, we allow the fouls to accumulate as many team fouls as occur until the end of the game. Okay, so once they reach 10 home fouls, can you continue to click it to 11? No, you can't, because it stops. Let me see what happens if I type it in. It will allow me to type it in if I want to, but technically that's not necessary, okay? Even if it's 48 team fouls, which will never happen, not necessary, okay? 10 team fouls is the maximum, because it's not like you get to shoot 3 free throws at 15 or anything like that. The most free throws you're gonna get is 2. I thank you for watching today. I hope you have a better understanding on how to use the scoreboard. If you have any questions, you could always reach out to me. Thanks for watching. Take care.